Hi, folks. I'm Dan McDermott. Welcome to the show. With me is Emily Williams. Hello, Emily. How you doing?
Great, Dan. Thanks for having me.
I'm wrestling with a few technical glitches as usual, but Emily's here, and it's great to have you. She is joining us for the first time from via Skype. So coming up on the show, Rod Blagojevich, guilty in court today. Also, another politician who's having a better day, Michelle Bachmann, who appears to be surging pretty high in the Republican field. The Supreme Court today ruled that violent video games cannot be banned in California. Also, congratulations to Redbox. This is not a rant, but this is praise. Redbox got me out of $1.50 yesterday. I'll tell you how they did it. Fair and square, and congratulate them for their $1.50 from Dan. And also, I've lost some weight. I have lost 16 pounds. I'm going to tell you my super secret method, unheard of before, and the weirdest press release I've ever gotten about a pregnant dolphin in Turkey, and also the website. A handy URL there for anyone interested in the pregnant dolphin. So anyway, Emily, glad to have you aboard, and I think your task was to familiarize yourself with the Bachmann's. No, I'm just kidding. With the with the Rod Blagojevich. No problem with the Rod Blagojevich story. So fill us in. Let us know what's going on that.
Well, he was convicted of 17 of the 20 charges that were brought up against him, and of the 3 that he wasn't convicted of, 2 were because the jury was undecided. But so if we look at what he was convicted of, it just reads like, let's see, wire fraud, attempted extortion, bribery, and conspiracy. The one thing that he wasn't found guilty of was bribing a construction executive, and the jury was deadlocked on whether or not he tried to extort Rahm Emanuel, who is now the mayor of Chicago. So this ends the long Blagojevich saga, I guess. It's so amusing that he was all over just about every media he could think of, declaring his innocence, and all reports of the trial was that it was just sloppy and pretty much a debacle, just like the entire case. So I don't know. The whole thing is it's messy and it's over. Hopefully it's over. The word
I
is
like
that
him.
You do? See, well, I guess he's convincing. I saw the episode of Celebrity Apprentice that he was on, or maybe he was on more than one, but I saw one, and he was all over some pizza shop or a hamburger shop, like trying to tell everyone there that he was innocent and to believe him. And now that he's guilty on just about everything, I don't know. And the sentence, which I don't think they've done the sentencing yet, but the maximum sentence he can get is 300 years. So I don't know. He's screwed. There's no other way about it. He didn't quite hit it right. And I think what his reaction afterwards is also, his reaction was what happened. And it's just, there are points of the trial that his lawyers were trying to take back things that he was saying. And I don't know. He's a character and a half, I guess.
Well, yeah, he's a character, and I did see him on. I watched Celebrity Apprentice, and I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was great. Donald, who would have been wonderful in the Republican campaign had he chosen to participate. But I don't know. He's a likable guy. He's not a crook.
I guess.
I guess it's a done deal now, right?
Oh yeah, supposedly they could go back and call for a retrial, I guess, but the word is that that they're going to want to stick with what they have. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe this means we'll have some excellent reality show from inside whatever prison he ends up in, with him crying because he, just doesn't understand why he's there.
Hypothetically speaking, of course. Maybe Donald can bring a TV crew to the prison and fire him from behind bars or something. I don't know.
Refire him? Didn't he already get fired?
You're still fired. You know, what are
I'm
you gonna
glad
do?
I fired you. Yeah.
I like the guy. You know, maybe he did it. What are you gonna do? All right, I'm done playing with that thing because now I've determined that I am in fact setting my audio up. Just a quick note: we had a problem. The thing, it always crashes at the worst possible moment, so it crashed here 4 minutes before we started. So we got it now. All right, so that is our Blagojevich segment. And there, once again, is the awful picture of him. We're broadcasting live on Blog Talk Radio, blogtalkradio.com / Dan McDermott, I guess. Just look for Dan McDermott on here now. And then our call-in number is 818-688-6625. 818-688-6625. We'd love to have you call. And join us and offer your opinions. You can opine. You can be a bloviator. I'm saying that because O'Reilly's on right now. We're going to crush him in the ratings.
Yeah, that'll be the day.
Yeah, you know. I'm nicer. I'm just kidding. I don't want to pick on Bill O'Reilly because I'm insignificant compared to him, and he will. I'm scared of him. All right. So anyway, our next story is the comparatively good-looking Michelle Bachmann. All right, this is a great story. This is, I think. I don't know if this is. Oh gosh, I think this is from Reuters by Steve Holland. In Iowa. I'll just read a little bit here. Rising Tea Party star Michelle Bachmann leapt into the Republican 2012 presidential nomination race on Monday, saying the country cannot afford 4 more years of President Barack Obama's handling of the economy. Make no mistake about it, Barack Obama will be a one-term president. Bachmann, a conservative member of the House from Minnesota, said in announcing her candidacy with a blistering critique of the Democratic president. This is a big difference from John Huntsman, who was really kind and nice to his former boss, Barack Obama. Bachmann is 55. Is attempting to reestablish herself as a conservative alternative to frontrunner Romney among a crowded field of Republican candidates. Bachmann's announcement speech, accompanied by rock music, as traffic noise roared from a nearby highway, was rhetoric against Obama. Memories of her Iowa childhood years. Obviously, going to talk about Iowa. This is really. There's a quote here. This is from Jennifer Green. I'm looking for someone who can deliver on what she says. Someone whose words and actions line up. She's a little bit outside the box. She's a little bit different. And I think that may be what we need. And it would be cool to have a woman president. So what do you think, Emily? I think didn't she raise like 24 foster kids? She has a unique personal story. What do you think of Michelle Bachmann? First of all, what do you think of her as a person?
As a person, I have to say that I really don't know much about her. I know that probably the most important thing politically is that she's representing the Tea Party. So this is really going to be, almost a referendum on whether or not America takes the Tea Party seriously and whether or not the Tea Party has enough followers to actually put forward a presidential candidate. So it'll be really interesting to see what the Republican Party decides they think of the Tea Party, and this will be, the most official way for them to say that. I also know that the first fact checks that have come back on her speech have been disastrous for her. So hopefully she'll be able to clean that up a little bit. The best example is, this is horrible, and I don't know who's writing for her, or she just threw that in there, but this is Biden-like in its faux pas-ness. But she claimed that John Wayne is from Waterloo, Iowa, which is her hometown, when in fact the John Wayne that's from her hometown is John Wayne Gacy Jr., the serial killer.
Often mistaken.
I guess. I don't think John Wayne's too happy about that being mistaken for John Gacy. I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see if she can put together a serious campaign and win over the Republicans.
There was a totally tangent here. This is an awful story, a tragic story, but I can't remember the name of the guy who killed John Lennon. But in England, I think or somewhere I heard, I can't remember where I was. I've been in 20 different countries, but they were doing a play, and the lead actor, I think he was already rehearsing for the role, or somehow, I forget, but they found out his name was the same name as the guy who actually killed John Lennon. Totally unrelated, but he ended up losing the gig because they just, too controversial or something. I don't know.
Huh.
So a name, what is a name is a name is a name.
Yeah, but that's not even just messing up the name. She got the person wrong. I don't think you want to be bragging about a serial killer being from your hometown. I'm just saying that she needs to clean it up. I mean, she needs to tighten up her speeches. Other things that came up in the fact check was her claiming that she's, quote, never gotten a penny from a family farm that's subsidized by the government, when in fact
keep going for 30 seconds. Keep going for 30 seconds.
Nope. No problem. I'll give you all. So what I'm looking at, just so everyone knows, is a fact check that was done by NPR. Or actually, nope, looks like NPR is reporting it from the Associated Press. So in case you're worried about the bias that's going on, there's probably not a lot. So yeah, let's see. The claim was that she's never gotten a penny from a family farm that's subsidized by the government, when in fact her financial disclosures, which she's required to make, say that she has. And the number is actually tens of thousands of dollars. So
tens of thousands?
Yeah. I mean, it's sloppy. It's sloppy politicking to have this much, like, blatant.
You just don't like her. Come clean.
No, that's not true. I mean, I am skeptical about whether the Tea Party has enough supporters to put forward a president. I think
that's not the question, though. Do they have enough supporters to win the nomination? It's a whole different game whether she could beat Barack Obama in November. But
oh yeah, of course. So
I'll tell you what, she has a lot in common with Obama. People were not happy with Bush toward the end of his second term. At least a majority of the folks weren't, according to polling or whatever. And there was this feeling that they wanted something dramatically different. And the most different candidate, a black man who, said he was going to have socialized medicine or whatever you want to, call it, won. Because that was, they wanted something completely different. Someone who wasn't, after 6 years of nonstop war, they wanted someone who looked completely different. And now there's a lot of folks who are upset with the spending in Washington. Not that the Democrats have a lock on that. Bush brought it up by $1 trillion, and Obama's done the same thing. We've gone from, I think, $4 to $6 trillion a year, but or $2 to $4 trillion. I forget. Someone's going to correct me. But she's very different. She's a woman, and we came close last time, but we have never had a woman president. We've had a woman vice presidential candidate, but we've never had a woman vice president. And twice we've had a woman candidate as vice president. But she's very different, and she's sincere. I don't agree with her on everything. I've seen some stuff I straight up, think she's, that's loony. But I was watching Chris Matthews tonight at the gym, and he was saying the same thing. He likes the fact, her personal story is interesting, but it's just, to me, it's like she means what she says, and she says what she means, and that's refreshing. She's like a no BS candidate. I like that about her. You can disagree with her, and I don't agree with her on everything, but I think she's the genuine article.
I guess.
So there.
You can say what she means, and she means what she says, but if her first fact check comes out so disastrously, I think that's the ultimate test. And granted, I'm coming from a journalist perspective, but you got to tell the truth. And obviously she's not quite telling the truth yet, so we'll see.
In your humblest of opinions.
It's not my opinion,
like
it's just the truth. She just I don't know, she just can't. You can't mess up your fact checks. They can't be this disastrous right from the get-go.
It's not like Marion Barry or something. You have no idea what you kids don't know. The mayor who smoked crack, I don't know, whatever. He was a guy I liked. He had a master's degree. Good guy. Had a slight drug issue. All right, if you'd like to join us, please do. We can squeeze you in our program, 818-688-6625. Let me know what you think. If you know me, if you don't get to know me, if you text me or tweet me, my Twitter's on the bottom. We're trying to get Emily. She's so 90s. She doesn't have Twitter, but if she gets it, I'll put her Twitter on the screen, but mine is there, Daniel P. McDermott with one T at the end, as my sister pointed out, but that's because Twitter not only limits the size of your entries, but also your name. Anyway, if you tweet me or if you text me, SMS me, whatever, We'll get you on. All right. This is a subject, and I'll be honest. The reason I left before, I just started a pot of coffee, so I'm going to go and get a cup in a second. This is awful because it's late, and I don't have my assistant here. Shara normally hooks me up. Okay, so now I want to talk about a subject that is near and dear to Emily's heart, and that is, it's a First Amendment issue. That is the issue of violent video games. I'm picking on Emily because she actually has a violent video game on her computer as we speak, but she blamed it on her boyfriend, the nuclear engineer.
And but I'm 24, so I'm allowed. I'm allowed to have violent video games.
She's smart for 24, for these kids, even though she doesn't know who Marion Barry is.
I just Wikipedia'd him, and now I know everything about him. The internet's amazing.
My favorite Onion story. My favorite story from theonion.com. Wikipedia users celebrate 750th anniversary of the United States. Boom, 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 boom. I sent that to Larry Sabato, and he did not respond to me. All right. Court strikes down violent video game ban. This is a First Amendment issue. Let's talk about this. This is fascinating. I have on there the game. I think you have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Which one do you have on your computer?
Exactly the one that you put up. Actually, that's exactly what we have.
Well, isn't that special?
It's all about driving and keeping up your reputation in the hood. I have to admit that I feel a little uncomfortable playing it, and I haven't played it very much. But
pop a cap in that. We can't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
It brings out the violent gangsta in Emily. It was only sweet and charming in appearance. Okay, let's look at this here. This is from Reuters, from James Viceni here. Government cannot ban the sale or rental of violent video games to minors because it would violate free speech rights. The U.S. Supreme Court said by a 7-2 vote, the High Court struck down a California law. Now, the California law, I think, was it, Emily? It was $1,000 fine, I think, if you sold a game. This is to minors. But the court said that video games like books, plays, and movies deserve free speech protection. The ruling was a victory, obviously, for video game publishers. And the trade association's president hailed the ruling as historic, a complete win for free speech rights and the creative freedom of artists and storytellers everywhere, he said. Antonin Scalia, this was an unusual collection of folks. This wasn't a partisan or this was an interesting majority here. Antonin Scalia, considered very conservative, a traditionalist, in the vein of Clarence Thomas, who actually was on the opposition. So this is a rare moment they didn't agree. They rejected California's argument that video games should be banned, like the sale of sexually explicit material to minors. There are three things the court has said: obscenity, I think hate speech, right? Obscenity, hate speech, and violent threatening speech. I think I'll find it here. I'm sorry, but
sure.
Emily's favorite game, 2005. The 2005 law were popular video games such as Mortal Kombat, Take-Two Interactive's Grand Theft Auto. Let's put up Emily's game again on the screen. That's dangerous to children.
Why do you do this again?
Because I'm upset that you look better on camera than I do, and you have some ghetto thing, and I have like fancy setup here. The law defines a video game. A violent game is one that depicts killing, maiming, dismembering, or sexually assaulting an image of a human being. Retailers who sold or rented a violent video game to a minor could be fined as much as $1,000. So Emily, what's your favorite part of the games you have on your computer? Is it the killing, maiming, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go there. The game industry has about $10.5 billion in sales, and this is the argument. Scalia said the state's expert testified he found the same effects when children watched television cartoons starring Bugs Bunny or the Roadrunner, or viewed a picture of a gun. Scalia said the state's expert testified he found that he cited famous books for children throughout history that have in fact depicted violence. Quote, Grimm's fairy tales, for example, are grim indeed, he said, with examples of Snow White's poisoning, Cinderella's evil stepsisters having their caution if you have children in the room. Cinderella's evil stepsisters having their eyes pecked out by birds, and continuing our warning for disturbing sentences I'm about to read, Hansel and Gretel killing their captor by baking her in an oven. Were any of those things on your violent game on your computer that you ostensibly say is your boyfriend's?
No, I don't think we baked any of the rival gang members in ovens.
You just popped a cap in their butts.
Or their backsides, yes.
Ho ho ho.
That's how it's
They're
done.
not ho ho ho. Okay, Scalia said
there were some of those too.
Yeah. The Christmas kind, right? Jolly, like Santa.
Yeah, that's right. I'm impressed with Scalia's folklore knowledge that he's whipping out here. You know, he even references Odysseus at one point. It's pretty impressive.
He's an intellectual. He's a fascinating guy. I'd love to hear him talk. I know you're a big admirer of his and Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
Scalia said parents, not the government, should decide what games their children can buy and play. He said the video game industry has a rating system designed to inform consumers and store owners which games were violent. Justices Clarence Thomas and Stephen Breyer dissented. This is interesting. Scalia and Thomas are normally right in line with each other. I've seen Thomas speak at Randolph-Macon Academy. I was up in Front Royal, and I covered his speech, but I've never seen Scalia. I'd love to see Scalia. They're both Scalia is a brain that I haven't heard. What sense does it make to forbid selling to a 13-year-old boy a magazine with an image of a nude woman, while protecting a sale to that 13-year-old of an interactive video game in which he actively but virtually binds and gags the women, then tortures and kills her? Breyer asked. I'm not going to correct a Supreme Court justice's grammar. Parents Television Council President Tim Winter denounced the decision. As you would expect, retailers can now openly, brazenly sell games with unspeakable violence and adult content, even to the youngest of children. And as I say this, I'm going to bring up Emily's game again. But John Riccitello, CEO of Electronic Arts, a major video game publisher, said everyone wins. On this decision, the court has affirmed the constitutional rights of game developers. Adults keep the right to decide what's appropriate in their houses, and store owners can sell games without fear of criminal prosecution. In my opinion, it's pretty cut and dry. Emily, give me a minute or two of your thoughts while I get a cup of coffee.
Well, yeah, I think it is. It's definitely, putting this in terms of the First Amendment was a smart idea on behalf of the judges or the justices. I think that calling video games art is definitely a decision that needed to be made by the Supreme Court and not someone lower. And if they've decided that, then, I mean, it really just comes down to, and when he's talking about a minor buying a racy magazine and not being able to do that until you're 18, I mean, the argument of whether or not pornography is art has gone on forever and ever, and I think that video games are just an offshoot of that argument. And I also completely agree with the idea that parents need to be responsible for what their children consume as far as media is concerned. And if you're not able to do that as a parent, you probably shouldn't be a parent. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, yeah, congrats. I think it's a great decision. And I think that the logic behind it is sound. So,
yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, damn it, parents be parents, and the whole nanny state thing is nonsense. I remember my dad used to whoop my butt, and I didn't like it. I can say this because I have 7. He likes O'Reilly, but I think they're going to watch the second half because he only likes the first half of O'Reilly. He doesn't like the culture quiz and the Dennis Miller thing and all that. So I got about 7 minutes I can talk about my dad, who I love very much, along with my mom. But he used to whoop my butt, and I had it coming, you know, and I didn't like it. And I remember in school they used to beat us, and I never got hit because I was scared of getting hit, and so I didn't run in the hall, didn't do bad things, or at least you knew what would get you a paddling or spanking, whatever. I didn't enjoy that, so I figured out that, and now of course you can't do that. I think a woman was just arrested for spanking her child or something. and it's just parents have to be parents. And I swear to God, I'm not going to watch a Star Trek episode and then, you know, think I can beam myself somewhere. And I think parents need to be parents, and this is just clearly a First Amendment issue, because the First Amendment was designed to protect unpopular speech, controversial speech. I mean, there are folks who want to get rid of the Harry Potter book from the school library because it promotes witchcraft, quote unquote. They want. I think now there's a Mark Twain book. Mark Twain was, on its face, a great story for kids to read, but it was also a story. And I apologize for the hissing in the background. It's like a snow thing, but we'll have it fixed for the next episode. But his use of the vernacular of the day was a statement, and it's an important statement to show that kind of, I'm referring to the N-word, that in that day and time it was acceptable. You know, it's getting rid of that book is like not showing a kid a sign that said, you know, black people have to use a certain water fountain. I mean, they need to know what it was like. When my ancestors came, because the potatoes rotted in Ireland, we have a sign in my parents' home that says, I think I have one too. I used to have a restaurant, and we had a sign, "No Irish need apply," and it was just to say, look how far we've come. So we have a First Amendment, and it's to protect unpopular speech, and this is unpopular among some folks, but so be it. That's the way it is. And if you don't like it, then, you know, watch your damn kid and make sure he doesn't do it, or you'll turn out like Emily and have violent video games. and
you know, it's funny, Dan, that you say that, because I grew up in a household that was not over conservative, but we did not have violent video games growing up at all. And I loved my educational video games. Like Math Blaster was amazing, and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, also a great one. And we also didn't grow up watching the adult cartoons like, you know, The Simpsons or Family Guy or what have you. So, I mean, now I can make decisions because I'm an adult, and I think that I respect my parents' decisions as far as, you know, parenting goes, deciding what was appropriate for young children and what wasn't. It really just comes down to spending time with your kids and knowing what they're doing on their computer. There's no reason why what they do on the computer should be anything different from what they do in, say, a living room, or, you know, it's just another activity. You wouldn't want your kid out back throwing rocks at a bird. So, you know, keep track of what they're doing online and what video games they're playing. Simple as that.
I just joined the Blog Talk Radio chat room, which I thought I was still in but wasn't, so I apologize. And our phone number is 818-688-6625. That's 818-688-6625 if you'd like to call. We'd love to have you call. So that's it. We decided that screw California, violent video games, that's the deal. If you don't like it, then so be it. Okay. This is great. I want to know what you think of this. Two funny stories before we get into the boring Google story, which isn't actually boring at all. Iran is making inroads towards space. Iran plans to send a live monkey into space next month. The latest advance in a missile and space program which has alarmed Israel and its Western allies. So the medieval Iranians are going to send a monkey. Are you scared, Emily?
Not really. I mean,
you're not terrified of the Iranians and their monkeys?
I'm really not. I'm not too worried about their monkeys. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we should be worried. Right now, I'm much more worried about whatever North Korea is doing with their monkeys than I am worried about Iran and their monkeys.
North Korea is spanking theirs, and Iran is. I'm sorry. I've gone awry now. That was horrible, Dan. That was I've been corrupted. I was thinking of I don't know where your mind is. I was thinking of this video game, this violent popping a cap in my monkey or something. I don't know. That's self-censorship, and which is okay. You're allowed to censor yourself. You're allowed to censor yourself. Okay, the Erna News Agency on Monday quoted the head of Iran's space agency as saying 5 monkeys were undergoing tests before one is selected for the flight aboard a Kavashgar 5 rocket. President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who's a disgusting example of a human being, said last August that Iran planned to send a man into space by 2017. I wonder if the monkey's going to come back. You think it's a one-way trip? Like a Iranian prison, for example? Roach Motel?
I don't know. We sent monkeys, right? Did we send monkeys into space?
Back in the olden days. How come you remember
Yeah,
that? But
did
you
our
don't know who
monkeys come
Marion
back?
Barry was.
Monkeys in space is much cooler. Plus, I was a total space nerd in 6th grade. 6th grade, God. But I don't know. Did our monkeys come back? I think that's probably the question.
That was a great year.
Because I'm sure they're basing...
2005, when you were in the... no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, funny. I had graduated by high school by then. Goodness.
I apologize for my making sport of your youth.
Yeah, do you want it to go the other way?
I don't know. I'm done with this Iran monkey. I mean, I figured we could get a cheap,
I can't figure out.
I got a cheap
I'm
laugh.
looking.
I'm
looking to see if the monkeys are coming back. I'll let you know if I found anything.
All right, next, China. Guess how China is going to count their endangered pandas, Emily?
By their poo.
Yes. See,
I'm incredible.
You do have a dirty mind. Yeah, China is. Oh dear. Do you have this story in front of you by any chance?
The China story?
Yeah.
No,
China
I don't.
Pooh Bear. China will use analysis of panda droppings. This is from Reuters Odd News. They had a lot. They had nothing over the weekend. I guess they were like Yahoo Tech Support. They were off for the weekend. China will use analysis of panda droppings as it embarks upon a once-in-a-decade census of the endangered animal, according to state media. Today, authorities are training some 70 trackers. Emily, you said you've been looking for a part-time job. Maybe you could become a tracker of panda poop. Not only would it be money, it'd be a great story you could tell. People would say, "What do you do?" Say, "I count panda poop for a living," and they'd be like, "All right, I'm not going to go there." The trackers will collect panda droppings for DNA analysis. This is actually smart, right? They're going to analyze the DNA. Wonder how they tested it before they had DNA in China. I wonder what they did. Which will allow zoologists to track individual pandas and accurately estimate the number of pandas living in the wild. It quoted wildlife official Chen Yuping as saying, they'll count not only how many wild pandas there are, but also their living conditions, how old they are, the state of their habitat, and what they last ate. I added the last part. The last census 10 years ago counted 1,596 wild pandas in China, most of them in Sichuan province. All right. So there. Do you have any fun stuff before I talk about Google? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
I don't think I do. Your
right.
panda thing has got me.
Wait till the pregnant dolphin.
No, I'm probably... Oh,
I'm holding back.
talk about the dolphin. Go for the dolphin.
All right, let's do the dolphin. This is the weirdest... I thought this is the strangest press release I've ever gotten. I'm making... It's odd. It's odd. Okay. Straight up. But it seems like a nice guy on some sort of peaceful mission here. This is from Turkey. I don't get. I've never gotten a press release from Turkey. The country. Why do? Here's the it's definitely some translation issues going on. Why do authorities not help Daisy, a pregnant dolphin in Marmaris? I don't know. Emily, you're the geography queen. I don't know how to pronounce that. After statements of the German dolphin and whale protection organizations Pro-Wal, the Whale and Dolphin Protection Forum, the dolphin-led Lady Daisy is pregnant in the sea pen on Mega in Marmaris and still romps about there with 4 other cauded dolphins. Axel Link, the operator of the Dolphinarium. I didn't know there was such a thing as a Dolphinarium. Emily, did you?
No, I didn't. And did you get this directly? Who sent it to you? Was it?
I got it emailed to me directly.
Huh. No one else has reported on it yet, Dan. So we're breaking news right now. Yeah, Google News has got nothing.
Why'd your quality suddenly stinks?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for Comcast and its horribleness.
Let me see here. Yeah, because I'm looking. It's not me. Well, it's not my uplink. I don't know. Anyway, because dolphins give birth to only a few young animals in their life, we call upon the responsible authorities to hand over the best possible protection to the pregnant dolphin and the unborn baby. The gestation period of bottlenose dolphins is a year, as a rule. During the first 4 months, the organs and body structures of the embryo dolphins are prepared. Then the organs of the animal are formed to the 8th month. This is detailed. After this time, a considerable growth takes place up to the birth. And the request to forbid any noise by passersby on the public way in front of the facility and the hotel, which is bordering the dolphinarium, should immediately receive the charge, among other things, to carry out no disco events or other loud animations in the time of the pregnancy of the animal to avoid unnecessary noise. I'm outraged. I think we should suspend all disco events and animations on the double. What do you think, Emily?
I get the feeling we're way too far away to do anything about this.
We're not.
Is that in
we have 5 current viewers. So that's 5 people who are now aware of this. The animal welfareists demand that any ship noise is to be avoided in the bank area of the facility, and a noise zoning in the radius of 1.5 kilometers around the dolphinarium in which engine-powered boats may only go in slow speed is to be established, and that the safety measures are supervised by a state institution, and that a running report is to be published. Why don't they just release the freaking dolphin or something? This is ridiculous. We need a whole commission. Maybe the government can help them, right?
Yeah.
This guy from the whale, I can't pronounce half this stuff. Jürgen Ortmuller of the Whale and Dolphin Protection Forum. Because of our dolphin protection activities for over 2 years, the dolphinaria owners, that's the plural, as you knew, Emily, that's the plural of dolphinarium. The dolphinaria owners have got a huge respect for us in Turkey. Turkey is all the rage in the dolphin industry. In the meantime, and put out all the stops to defend themselves. Thus, the Omega Dolphinarium in Mamaris has presented to us an injunction under penalty of a fine of 250,000 Turkish units of currency, which should prohibit us to exercise generally criticism against the keeping. I can't read any more of this. Anyway, if you want more, here's the convenient website. Emily, would you like to tell us? I don't know how to pronounce that. If someone wants to call us, that's a good reason to call.
I don't know.
That's a good reason to call. Tell us what the hell that is. Wall shoots. I don't know. Anyway, that's the address if you'd like more information on this outrageous story, folks. And you heard about it first on the McDermott report about this pregnant dolphin who's being exposed to disco sounds and other animations and boats in the water near the pregnant dolphin. This will not stand. As long as I'm in charge of this show. Have I milked this enough?
Yeah, I think so.
We're good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Can I do
I have sports news.
Oh, go ahead.
I have some sports news. The Dodgers are filing for bankruptcy.
I heard that.
Yeah. I think they did it today. And it was really funny because when I first read the news about it, my initial reaction was, oh, times are tough, and even the LA Dodgers have to file for bankruptcy. But the reason they're filing is because the owner went through a messy divorce and lost a lot of money. So
are you mocking the plight? Are you mocking the plight of the Brooklyn Dodgers?
A little bit, if only because the Dodgers, a little bit of background baseball history. Dodgers are owned by a Boston area native who tried to buy the Red Sox and wasn't able to, so he went and bought the Dodgers instead. And yeah,
do you think would they rather have Dan Snyder, the Redskins, to watch that? I know I'm switching sports, Emily. Dan Snyder's a whole thing. We got to rain on him sometime. He's such a good target.
Yeah.
I don't know what the status, but anyway, I feel the pain of the financial duress You really don't want me to do my Google story.
No, you can do the Google story. Go for it. I don't think I know what the Google story is.
You hate my Google story.
I don't even think I know what it is yet, Dan.
You hate
Tell
all
us
my
about
stories.
the Google story.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Emily. Your Skype's still messed up.
I don't know what's going on. I lost a bar.
You know.
Say la vie. 2 bars. I'm down 2 bars.
Hey, we're up to 6 viewers. Ka-ching. It's this prime time thing. I still can't get we've never had a caller. And we have this nice system set up. I'm going to all these things to bring in Blog Talk Radio. The number's 818-688-6625. Yeah, that's right. It's on the screen. All right, Google. This is a rant. This is an official rant. Here we go. I'm going to rant. We talked about this Saturday with my wonderful brother-in-law, Bob Harmon, who did the show. And apparently my sister didn't tell him it was an hour before he did it. So he fussed at her afterward, I heard. Anyway, Google investors for your long battle against the feds. And I'm gonna rant against the feds, just so you know. Because my whole premise, and I said it Saturday, if the feds can go after Google, because if the feds can go after Google, because Google is favoring their own businesses, then can they go after Walmart if Walmart chooses not to sell my product and instead promotes a great value brand product instead that might be cheaper and better, and they make more money because they eliminate the middleman and having to pay for all that branding, all those beautiful signs everywhere. I mean, this is America. And there are two kinds of monopolies, right? There's two kinds of monopolies. There's a serious monopoly, a true monopoly, like the electric company that goes to your house. There's only one electric wire because it's cost prohibitive to run several. There's only one water pipe coming to your house. It's not doesn't make sense for me to go in as a water utility and say, you know, we don't have a presence in San Diego. Let's run a water pipe to every house in San Diego and dig up everybody's lawn on the off chance that they might want to purchase water from me, and then we'll have true competition. Well, that's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense at all. So the government does regulate those things to some degree, which I think is a good thing because you don't want to get screwed, or in the case of the water utility, hosed. And so Google is not that kind of monopoly. It's not a monopoly at all. You can use Yahoo, which sucks. Or you could I don't know if Lycos or Ask Jeeves are still functioning or not. But I think if Google wants to run their stuff in the ads next to the search results or whatever to promote their own products, I find it relevant, and I've discovered a lot of products that way. And I don't see any problem with that. I think that's why I own 3 newspapers. If I opened a hot dog stand here in Lynchburg, you think I'm not going to run an ad in my Lynchburg Times newspaper that says, "Hey, go to Dan's hot dog stand"? Of course. I mean, that's one of the benefits of owning a media outlet. On this show, if I was selling a CD or hawking a book, you don't think I'd say, hey, by the way, Emily, that reminds me of my book, which is coming out next. Of course, I'm going to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's America. That's why you build a business, to grow and to make more money for your shareholders. So this is just nonsense. I look at Bill Gates. After a high-profile trial, they're comparing it to Bill Gates' situation. Microsoft finally settled the matter in 2002. Only last month emerged from government oversight. Bill Gates felt like he was being punished for being successful, and he never really recovered from the antitrust trial, said Michael Casamano, professor of MIT Sloan School of Management, who was involved in the trial. Microsoft suffered as a result. They're not as aggressive. They definitely lost their edge. Also, of course, Bill Gates has retired early and is saving the planet. The amount of time involved is almost beyond human calculation, said Bob Land, an FTC veteran, discussing the amount of time and investors are legitimately afraid of a long battle with the Feds. I think it's un-American. I think if Google wants to be successful, they're not a monopoly. They just do it cheaper and better. And if you don't like it, you can go to some crappy search engine like Yahoo, who doesn't do it as well. Despite years of watching Google. And Bing's catching up some steam. Good for them. But what do you think, Emily? I'm done with my rant. I think. I don't like the whole notion of the federal government going after a company that's being successful. It's not a monopoly. It's dominant. It's got 2/3 of the business in the United States and about 80% in Europe because they're better. But I don't know of any life or death situation. I mean, if someone drops down of a heart attack in front of me, I'm not going to Google something. I'm going to pick up my phone and dial 911. I don't think that the feds should be involved in this. What say you?
Well, at the risk of sounding, I mean, I really don't know all the details on this, but to me, this sounds a lot like Google, in my opinion, does what they do very well. It's a very tight website. All of their products are constantly under development, and I've been using Google Mail for ages and have been completely happy with it. It strikes me that Google is in the same position as, say, Apple and the iPod, where they're just making a product that's much, much better. And if there really isn't anything going on other than that, it's a shame that the feds are going after them. But once again, maybe there's something we don't know about. I mean, it's always possible. Google's become a very large corporation. Who knows? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes there?
Let me update you. Google said it's not exactly clear what the FTC's concerns are, but we're clear about where we stand, said Google executive Amit Singhal in a blog post on Google's website. The FTC, this is from the Washington, from Reuters. The FTC is expected to address complaints from Google rivals that its search and results favor the company's own services. Google, which runs an estimated 69% of web searches worldwide, can make or break a company depending on its search ranking. The European Commission and the Attorney General in Texas launched an investigations into similar issues last year following complaints from companies specializing in market-specific searches, such as price comparison websites for electronics, travel, or mortgages. This is just the beginning. You've got the EU investigating Google. You've got the feds investigating Google. The state attorneys general have Google in their crosshairs. It's not a great position to be in, said Colin Gillis, technology analyst at BGC Partners. You start having regulators tamper with your core business. That's something to be concerned about. It's not certain that the FTC's investigations will lead to legal action, continues the Reuters piece. Typically, less than 1 out of every 10 investigations lead to enforcement. This investigation faces daunting odds. The complaints presented are from disgruntled advertisers, not consumers. That is not a strong foundation to an antitrust case. So there.
Yeah. I mean, the argument that Google's searches come back with a lot of its products, I mean, you can say that, but then again, when you think about it, like YouTube is a Google product now, and Blogger, and they just make a lot of great products. And it's not, I mean, when I Google something, which has become part of the vernacular, which is even says more towards their success, but I expect to get a Wikipedia result within my top 3 choices, because it's helpful. I mean, that's just the way it is. So
keep going for another 30 seconds. I want to address that point. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm trying to look up right now to get a list of Google applications. But it really sounds like this might be a case of a squeaky whale getting attention, that other search engines are frustrated with being able to compete with Google, and that they've just complained for just long enough to get people to look into it. It's a shame that being under investigation has the ability to destroy a company. But I would also argue that Microsoft, had a lot of other business decisions that probably brought them down just as much as being under investigation. So I don't know. Google is a large company, but they are from small beginnings. So we'll see. My guess would be that Google would have enough attorneys and lawyers to take care of whatever's going to happen, and that they're innovative enough to not let this stop them. So
God forbid you should, and I'm going to rescue you. I made you talk about Google for a minute, a story you could care less about. God forbid you should invent a website, and that website will become popular. And then the federal government, and then you promote your other products on that website, and then the government will have to come and protect the people who look at your website from the fact that you're living the American dream. It's absolutely ridiculous. So there.
Yeah.
All right. I was going to do this story. We've got this. I'm going to hold off. I've got this killer story on these new species that were found. But when my thing crashed, I lost the photo. So I'm going to wait. But they discovered new species in the Philippines. like a balloon, a shark that expands, and some other things. The California Academy of Sciences. It's a great story. So I'm going to hold off on that. But I do want to do. And also we have this trend. This is a neat story. A trend about folks. About zoos, this program. So look at this program where folks can spend the night in the zoo, and it's not just for kids, but it's a whole different world at night. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, and then also we might talk about this tonight if we have time. But your TV set-top box might cost you more on your energy bills than your refrigerator. This is a New York Times story. That is a shocker. Hopefully we have time to talk about that. So, but I do want to. In fact, I'm going to talk about this. This is from the New York Times. There's been a big stink made about the power hogging ways of HDTVs, but something else in the living room and something a whole lot smaller is probably costing more in electrical bills each month. The humble high-def set-top box uses about the same amount of power per year as a desktop computer, according to the Natural Resources Defense Council. But add DVR functionality to that device, and it suddenly sucks down more juice than a 21 cubic foot refrigerator. It may not look like it's doing much, but a set-top box is on 24 hours a day, sipping electricity even when you turn it off. In fact, the standby power consumption is 66% of a set-top box's total draw. Combine the standby power usage of all set-top boxes in the U.S. and it totals as much power as the state of Maryland consumes in a year. This is interesting. There are public service announcements from the local power company talking about this, that it used to be, you'd cut the light off or the whatever, and the toaster's not using any electricity unless it's making toast. But this is a shocker, isn't it?
Sort of. I mean, we've been getting messages like that for a while.
Talk for 5 minutes on this, Emily. Just kidding.
Well, I got to say that my dad has always been a sucker for saving electricity. Not a sucker. He's good at it. He's a big fan of the phrase in or out when you're standing by the door, because you're either letting the heat out or you're letting the cool air out. Not that we ever had air conditioning, but he told me a long time ago that most devices, when they remain plugged in, eat up electricity, especially cell phone chargers, which is something you wouldn't think of because, of course, if it's not plugged into your cell phone, you wouldn't think that it would be pulling anything from the wall, but most things do. So it's not really surprising that, I guess we're probably talking about TiVos here, yeah?
We need the government to protect us from ourselves, to fine us, and to set up a team of inspectors to come to houses and see if your set-top box is on, and they should wake you up in the middle of the night, because that's when you're most likely to be infringing on the new rules that we need to protect ourselves. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. You know what else what else we need is some cooler weather in Virginia so that I can turn my air conditioner off more often. I think that would save me from my electric bills.
Maybe we can get some of the Gestapo agents assigned to Sergey and Larry and Eric Schmidt and put them on this. I think this is a much bigger threat to the American people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's straight un-American to leave your set-top box on.
Well, are they talking about TiVos? Because if it's a TiVo, don't you have to have it on for it to record your shows? I've never owned a TiVo, but
maybe they forgot that. I remember once. Okay, maybe they forgot that when they wrote the article that you have to have it on for that reason. But I remember when I was a kid, we were in Waynesville, North Carolina, and they had a thing on the news talking about, it was during the gas crunch of the 70s. Of course, you were not. I don't know if your parents were born. But they showed it on TV, and they said, well, one thing you can do when you're going downhill is turn your engine off. These stupid things that TV anchors say, it's some you shouldn't drive to work today if you don't have to. Well, you're at work on TV, screw you. So they said, turn the engine off when you're going downhill, and you can save some gas. Over a year, you'll save $2, right? And $70, which is like $5 now. Then after the commercial break, he came back and said, oh, well, actually, we'd like to not suggest you do that because steering wheels lock when you turn the key off.
Yeah, there's a difference between turning it off and putting it in neutral.
Another complete, since I'm having an ADHD, I'm drinking my coffee here. I'm having an ADD moment, so I'll throw in one other unrelated tangent. Lee Iacocca in his book, great book, he said when he first two funny stories from his book. One was about seatbelts. He said when he first made seatbelts mandatory in a Chrysler model or Ford, whichever company, that I think it was Chrysler. He got a letter from some lady who complained that Emily, what are you doing?
What?
We can hear you. That when he sorry, you were making some noise with your microphone.
Sorry.
He said he made seatbelts mandatory in Chrysler vehicles for the first time. And some lady wrote in and complained that they were uncomfortable to sit on. And well, I guess she didn't get the point. The other funny Iacocca story, one of many, is when he was at Ford, the Henry Ford, the descendant of the original Henry Ford, said that raved about the hamburgers in the cafeteria at Ford. He said they're just the best hamburgers ever. And so he asked the cooks, he said, what the hell? I mean, it tastes like a good burger, but it's nothing to, no Pulitzer Prize burgers. And he said, oh, when Mr. Ford orders one, we take a filet and we grind it up. So that was so I'd like that. I'm going to tell Shara when she comes to work tomorrow. I would like a filet ground up whenever I. I'm just kidding. She doesn't. She occasionally, if I glare at her, she'll give me a cup of coffee, but she doesn't make my burgers. Okay, so I promised two things, and then if you have any fun stuff, Emily. Okay, one is my diet tips are coming up. That's my before and after picture. Dan's secret diet. I'll do that first. My secret diet tips. I have lost 16 pounds. I'm basically wasting away. I'm a twig. No, I'm just kidding. But I have lost 16 pounds, and Emily's still much more attractive to me, even though she's got this Skype thing. It's all pixelated. I don't know what it is. How many bars you got?
It's Comcast. Let's go get them. I have 4 according to Skype. It's Comcast. They're dumb. Don't even get me started.
We should have a government commission look into this. Okay. Anyway, so my diet tips are: I go to the gym, and I do about 30 minutes on the thing. And so I'm exercising. I do an elliptical, right? Because I have flat feet, so I can't run hardcore. And I eat less. So those are my diet tips. I'm eating a lot less. I eat 3 eggs. I was doing the vegan thing for a while, but I just went crazy. I think I was in Costco, and they were sampling pizza, and I just couldn't stop myself. So I cheated, and then I cheated more and more, and now I'm usually not a vegan. So anyway, I eat 3 eggs, and I'm up until I eat right before I go to sleep. So in the morning, I'm not really hungry. So I wait till about noon. I get up about anywhere from 7 to 9. And then about noon or 1, I got to eat or I'm going to kill somebody. So I eat my 3 eggs, and then I wait a few minutes, and then I have an apple around 2 o'clock, a big old nice sweet apple. And then I go to the gym at about 4 or 5 o'clock, say. And then I come back, and then I haven't eaten yet, right? But I'm obviously wired from the gym and from my decaf coffee, hold me back, control myself. And then before I go to sleep, I'll have like a 5-ounce can of chicken, or I might have like a half a pound of ham steak. You know, those 2 ham steaks, thick. It's a 1-pound package. And then I'll eat one of those, but some meat, and then all the fruit I want, like a dozen oranges, a bunch of grapes. One time I had a mango, and then half a mango, and I realized the other half wasn't too good. So I had a mango and a half. I had a big thing of grapes, and then I had like 8 oranges, and I'm losing weight. You can eat all the fruit you want. Don't eat that. Remember that crazy lady with you're too young. I can't remember. I'm serious. I can't remember her name, but her thing was stop the insanity, and her whole thing was, did it grow that way? If it didn't grow that way, don't eat it, because food is a drug, as Dr. Barry Sears says in his own book, which is similar to Atkins. He says food's a drug, because you look at it, if your sugar's low, you're grouchy, and then you eat, and then you could be on a sugar high and be, and you could have a dozen jelly beans and go from, being sloth-like and lethargic to being on a sugar high, just like that in a minute. Have some chocolate, and all of a sudden you're fixed. It is a drug. And so that's my secret. I have 3 eggs, a big apple, half pound of meat, and all the fruit I want every day, and I'm not hungry, and I've lost 16 pounds since I started, which, I don't know, a couple months, I guess. So that's my secret. And then the other thing I have is the Redbox story. And again, my before and after picture, you can see I've lost a tremendous amount of weight. All right, now Redbox scammed me fair and square. And I knew it last night they were going to get me. So I go there. I'm going there to buy a movie. To get a movie. This Redbox, if you don't have them, get them. If you don't have it, get it. If you can find a better DVD machine. All right, I was gonna get this movie. I was looking for a movie, and because my Star Trek episodes are running low, it's gonna be like another 24 hours till Netflix came in, and you can't stream them yet until next month. I'm stoked. So I was going to get this movie, and my first thought was this movie called Inside Job. I'm a policy wonk, right? I'm a nerd. So this is a documentary about the 2008 financial crisis. I'm guessing it is not pro big business, but I want to see what they say. And then I'm at the Redbox machine. I'm going to get my Inside Job, and I select it. I said go to checkout. Then it says wait. This is $1, but for just 50 cents more. You can get a second movie. And I'm like, you know, this is a scam because I know I'm not going to watch the second movie. I'm not going to watch the second movie tonight. I only have so much time, and so I'm probably going to keep it an extra day. And then they're going to get a buck $50 out of me instead of $1 for a movie I didn't even want. So this is great. This is God bless America. So I ended up getting this movie and actually watched the second movie last night. It's very good. I recommend it. It's called The Special Relationship about Tony Blair and Bill Clinton. I reckon it's worth 50 cents. It's worth $1.50. But it's really more about Bill Clinton's some of the lines I can't use. They're dealing with the Monica Lewinsky story and the run-up. Some of the funny lines that the Brits were saying, describing the president. I don't want to get into that. But it was humorous describing the situation as many Americans were. But it's a great story. The acting's pretty good. The script's okay. There's some stuff that wasn't accurate in my opinion. But it was interesting. Like the scene where Bill Clinton was talking, and nobody can do Clinton's accent right. But the character was saying, we're gonna. He was talking to Tony Blair. And he said, we're just I got 3 more years left, and then it's 8 years of Al Gore, and you're just getting started. It's funny how it all seemed that way. And then in the beginning it showed Tony Blair. I don't know if this is true or not, but it was interesting. Inside stuff. He's at a conference by Democrats talking about how they got Bill Clinton elected, and how he beat George Herbert Walker Bush 41. And I don't know. It's just really interesting. Good movie. So I recommend that. But they hosted me. Redbox got me because I knew it going in. It's going to be 50 cents, but I'm going to keep an extra night. And the average person spends $2 per movie. That's what they get. So I knew it. But I'm manning up and admitting it. Anything you'd like to confess, Emily?
You just need to switch to Netflix. I'm a Netflix user and I love them.
I do, but sometimes, and now I've got this TV behind me. It's awesome. It has Netflix built in along with Facebook and Twitter, although I don't use that. It's ghetto. But the Netflix thing, it's like, wow. I swear it looks like broadcast network high definition, and it's streaming it. And I haven't even hooked the Ethernet cable up. It's just streaming it wirelessly from my LAN. It just goes through the internet webbit tubes. The internet is a series of tubes, and it just wirelessly connects to my television. So I know you remember that, right? It was Alaska Senator. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. You can do it.
I don't know. I don't know who. Hold on, I got
see, my dad's watching this half. He's probably throwing something. I can't remember. I can't believe that kid can't remember the Alaska. You're Wikipediaing it. You're cheating.
No.
Does anyone play? I wonder if anyone plays online Scrabble anymore, because it'd be so easy.
My mom and I do.
You cheat? Are you allowed to cheat?
You can, but it's an honesty thing. Like, I wouldn't cheat when I was playing with my mom, but Ryan once cheated while we were playing. Of course, Ted Stevens. Was it Ted Stevens? Really?
Oh, yeah, it just popped into your head.
Yeah, it just popped right into my Wikipedia-fueled head.
Your head is not just... See, your head's filled with all those violent video games.
It was in 2006? Man. Sorry.
That's a long time ago. Were you even in college?
Yeah.
You were 20. That was before you. She's actually very qualified for her job. She's the senior political writer for the Lynchburg Times, the newspaper here in Lynchburg, my wonderful newspaper, and she has a master's degree from where?
Northeastern University in Boston.
And then you worked for the Boston Globe. Or the
Sort
Herald.
of. I mean, I was a grad school lackey, so they didn't
Now
pay me.
you're a Lynchburg Times lackey. I pay you.
Yeah. So yeah,
I pay you more than the Boston Globe did.
Yeah, you have paid me more than the Boston Globe did. It's true.
And they're and the New York Times company, they own it, right?
Yeah, they do. Yep.
So you worked for the New York Times. Did
Yeah,
you say
indirectly.
That? I work for the New York Times company. Did you say that? You know their entry level for writers is like $100,000 or more.
Really?
Yeah. Not all journalism jobs suck.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
but there's only 6 of them. Unfortunately, there are only 6 of them.
True. Well, I guess we can wrap it up, right? I've given my diet tips. Once again, my rundown, my before and after picture. I eat 3 eggs, sometimes 3 pieces of Canadian bacon, and an apple. And then at the end of the day, I eat half 5 to 8 ounces of any kind of meat, any kind of onions, tomatoes, and then any fruits I want. And then I go to the gym for a half hour almost every day. I try to go every day, but some days I don't make it. And I just do my elliptical. And it works. And I don't drink any alcohol, and I have caffeine in the morning. And then I drink decaf a lot. But you can eat all the fruits and vegetables you want all day. All you want, and just eat natural stuff. If it didn't grow that way, don't eat it. Eat like a caveman. Right, Emily? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess. I looked up her too. She looks a little crazy. She have infomercials, and she was Australian.
Great. Was she? I didn't know that. She was like, stop the insanity.
Yeah.
Did it grow that way? Don't put it in your mouth.
It sounds like
she was right. It's good advice. Don't eat that sugar junkie crap. Don't give it to your kids. That's more dangerous than any of these damn video games that California wants to ban and fine people for exercising their First Amendment freedoms.
So
Don't
true.
get me started. Did I mention Google? I'm going to rant on Google again sometime, but not today. Hey, thanks so much to our 6 viewers. We get more people after the fact watching. I don't know how many people are listening, but it's been great. Emily Williams, who is going to get Twitter. I want you to make that your June, July resolution. I want you to get Twitter.
All right.
Emily Williams. You could be Emily K. Williams or E.K. Williams, whatever's available. I don't know. And then you can follow me in yet another way. Whatever. I'm following her. All right. Thank you so much, folks. I'm going to end our blog talk. We're going to get off that network, and we'll stay on Ustream for just a couple minutes. This show is on Blog Talk Radio. It's at 8 o'clock now. It was at 3 o'clock. It's on YouTube later. I'm going to get my McDermottReport.com site up with all the links, because right now it's ridiculous for me. Ustream.tv/channel, that's ridiculous. But if you go to Ustream at 8 o'clock and look for Dan McDermott, I think you should see it. And then on Blog Talk Radio, it's channel/Dan McDermott. I don't know, whatever. I'll get it all together. But right now it's kind of like a big dress rehearsal. And Emily, thanks for joining me. This was your first Skype thing.
Yeah, hopefully the internet will cooperate more next time.
Yeah, the problem with your audio, and it was a varying degree of hiss throughout the show, because there's something that is bringing your volume up. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but when you don't talk, like right now, there's a hissing sound. But say something.
Hello.
See, it goes away. It's an attenuator of sorts. And so what it does when she doesn't say something, if her dog is making a sound somewhere, across the room, but now I don't hear anything, so I think she probably turned herself down.
Yeah, I just muted it. Maybe I'll do that next time when you're talking.
Can you do that tomorrow night from 8 to 9? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You're not on tomorrow. I got to get another guest. Maybe I'll get Bob again.
Oh, I'll be on city council if anyone wants to watch. Local access in Lynchburg. city council is all the rage,
Emily Williams, thank you so much for being part of our program. It was fun.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
And I am Dan McDermott from the Lynchburg Times, Warren County Report, and the new Frederick County Report, our newest incarnation in Frederick County, Virginia. You can catch me at McDermottReport.com. You can catch me wherever. But we're here. And on Ustream, this is on YouTube. This episode will be on YouTube if you missed it. So thanks so much. And we're going to log out of Blog Talk Radio. And thank you for listening. I'll see you, or I'll talk to you, and hopefully talk with you and your calls tomorrow night. So that's it for this Monday edition of McDermott Report. And okay, so we're using local radio. That's the. We're off there. Okay, Emily, we're still streaming, and we're going to cut the record thing. Let's stop the recorded button. Thank you for watching.